Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. This shouldn't be too long. This is going to be an interesting review. I finally got around to seeing the show Awakenings. Awakenings or Awakening? I don't know. Let's see. It is Awakening at the Wynn. Okay, so for years and years and years, I remember they had the show Le Rev there. People loved that show. I don't know why it closed down, but it did shut down. And they opened this show called Awakening, which I heard, it was a lot of promotion, a lot of pump up. This is going to be a great show. And when it came out, it just fell flat. I didn't see it back then, but I know that people were not happy with it. So I'll give the Wynn freaking credit, man. They shut it down for like 6 months, maybe even a year, and retooled it. I think they said the word reimagined it, whatever their fancy word is. And then they put it open probably about a year or two ago. So I've been wanting to see it for a while. I've heard things, some good, some bad, but not a lot of people I know had gone to see it, but a lot of people wanted to see it. That's a good way to describe it. So we finally went. Tickets were not cheap, and they were on sale. They were having like a fall sale or something. So there's like 3 or 4 different levels of pricing. They're not cheap. We sat at the top level, which is like a top ring. The theater's in a round, so I don't think any seats are bad seats. Let me pull up ticket prices. On sale, I know I like the top level, because they were like the seats were like in twos. Like it was almost like a VIP. Let's see. Sorry, I didn't look this up before. My tickets cost me $140 plus fees, so 2 tickets were about $360, which is a lot for a show, honestly. But I don't want to say I don't mind paying. I just want it to live up to the hype. That's all I want. Let these shows live up to the hype, and I think people will be okay with the price. So we went to the 9:30 show. There's 2 shows a night, 7 and 9:30. Tickets are on sale now, but it looks like the closer you get to the stage, they go for $160 to $139 to $119 to $99, and then the last layer is $149. So it looks like the front row and the last row where we sat were the best seats, and they were incredibly comfortable. They were super cool. They had these little microphones on each side of your head. Looks like you're going to be electrocuted. It looks like an electric chair. But it does put the sound right in your ears, I guess. So I didn't even know what it was. I honestly didn't even know what it was about. I just heard it was cool. So we went. Okay. God, I don't even know where to start on this. Visually, as a whole, it's really impressive. The people who do the set design, the people who create the well, I won't say the costumes, but the animatronics, the puppetry, the lighting, the stages, the set designs, incredible. Honestly, it's an incredible thing to watch. How, you almost get jealous that there are humans in this world that are so fucking creative. They're so fucking creative. Bothers me. I like to think I'm creative, but I ain't that creative. So from a visual standpoint, it's incredible. If you like to just see things you've never seen before, things you'll never see again, it's a cool show. Story is where I think they fumbled. The story, it's kind of like this fantasy. It's like a mix of Lord of the Rings and Zelda, and like you're reading one of these fantasy books. They don't do I don't think they did a good job out of the gate explaining what the hell was going on. But the basic story is this girl that was chosen to go to the earth, air, fire, and water. I guess the elements of the earth. And each one of those worlds has a little crystal that she has to collect. And when she collects all 4, she completes her mission. I did not understand at the beginning why she went on that mission. Something was happening in the world, and she had to save the world. The storyline to me was, you're not invested in it. It's kind of silly. The story doesn't match the visuals. You can do a much better story with that visuals. Another thing I found, I don't know if people get mad at me. I don't care. I'm not trying to be politically correct, politically incorrect. It has nothing to do with how I feel politically, religiously, or anything like that. These are just my thoughts. There was a lot. It felt very homoerotic. I think that's the right word. I was trying to think of the right word the whole night. Like the men were very dressed homoerotic. There was no need for that. Not in a bad way. It's not a bad thing. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. And I just felt like it was done too much. It didn't need to be there as part of the story. Another thing I thought was terrible, they had like 3 songs. It was very Broadway and to me very bad Broadway. I thought the songs were terrible. The visuals were so incredible. The stage was built so incredible. Everything was so incredible. I don't think the material matched that. If that's the best review I can do. The music, the acting, the cheesiness, the storyline, it just didn't match up to how good it could have been with those graphics. And this is me, and I'm biased. I just kept sitting in that room looking around and saying, this is a perfect room for Beatles love. Bring that show back here. Wynn, like I didn't even feel like the Awakenings fit the Wynn, brand. It was too like science fiction-y. It was too fantasy book, Lord of the Rings. The Wynn's a classy joint. The Beatles there, I kept thinking, it doesn't have to be the Beatles. It can be, I don't know. That's a great theater and a great spot. I think personally they can do better, or they need to again retool, reimagine this thing. But it's not a bad time. That's the kicker. You have to ask yourself, is it worth the money? You might love it a lot more than me. Scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7.5, 7.4, 7.45. Let's talk about that. 7.45, just because the visuals are so incredible. If the visuals weren't that incredible, it would be much lower to me because the material just wasn't there. The music wasn't there. There was no emotional attachment. Like the Beatles, whether you're a fan or not, those songs are so beautiful and you emotionally get attached to some of these stories. This was just like a story. There was nothing emotionally dragging you in. There's so much music out there you can license. There's so many better things. There was like elements of magic, elements of acrobatics, but nothing amazing when it comes to that stuff. Nothing over the top. Like this is, when you watch the Beatles Love, there were elements of acrobatics that were like, oh my God, that's incredible. Things like that. They did it. They sprinkled it in, but it wasn't. The reason to go to this show is to see some incredible visuals. I'll post the videos. You'll see some of them. And that's it. 7.45. That might be generous. I'll be honest with you. I'm a nice guy. That might be generous. The girl I was with, she loved it. She thought it was great. But I think she also felt the story was a little bit, didn't fit. It didn't fit. It could be so much better. So that's my take. I think the Wynn can do a better job in that room with that staff and that crew that they have. They need to retool it, lose this awakening, lose this story, come up with something better, something more interesting, something more emotional. Music helps. Go license some music and do something special. Thanks for listening. Wow, this is longer than I thought. We'll see you at the next show. Bye-bye.